Hello, YouTube. Here's an unfortunate truth. Your joy is your job. Now, there are mental illnesses that override our own systems, and there are situations in life that are extreme and do cause trauma in the moment and grieving. There are those exceptions to the rule, but by and large, your joy is your job. It's not your husband's job or your wife's job or your partner's job or your kids or your parents' job or your coworker's job to make you happy. It's not your circumstances, because there's a lot of people who have everything who are extremely unhappy. It's your capacity to cope with life and your perspective on life that is the key component to producing your own happiness. You have to learn to emotionally calibrate yourself through a variety of techniques: self-soothing, time management, basic life skills type of things, to acceptance of the way that things are, letting the past go, the ability to downshift yourself, the ability to have a growth mindset, many things to fill your life with things that provide you joy. Hobbies, activities, friends, positive people. It's your responsibility, because no one can reach inside of you and fine-tune that knob. There's no knob or switch anyone can reach over and poke to produce consistent positivity and joy in your life. And again, it's not their responsibility. They're busy trying to live their own life and manage their own circumstances and continue their own joy. Your life is your own. Your life is not their responsibility. Neither is your happiness anyone else's responsibility but your own. This may seem like an unfortunate truth for some of you who've been most of your life in an unpleasant place and you don't know how to get out. There's tools, techniques, tips, and tricks, and avenues to slowly work your way out. And if you are in a situation of circumstance that truly leads to circumstantial depression, like the loss of a loved one, grieving, these things take time and they will pass. Sometimes medication can help, therapy can help, but in the end, it's your emotion. Even in circumstantial situations, and your capacity to cope in general will help you to cope better when circumstances dictate that you're going to be unhappy. And when you have a mental illness, taking proper care of yourself, making sure you see doctors if you have access. Unfortunately, there's a lack of access in this country for the quantity of people who need it. Nothing I can help you with, provide you health insurance. But admitting to yourself that you may need help and trying to find it, or helping your loved one who you believe has a mental illness try to find the help that they need. Again, there is medication, there is therapy, there is treatment for biological illnesses that override your constitution. And your capacity to cope with having that label and living through the symptomology is again helped by your capacity to cope in general. So it's also a fortunate truth, depending on your mindset and depending on how you look at it, because like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you hold the key all along. Tap your little shoes and find your way home. That if you're responsible for your own unhappiness, you can get yourself out. You can produce joy in your life, in your circumstances, and in yourself. You don't have to cross your fingers and hope that some white knight rides in, or a fairy godmother comes and sprinkles some joy in your heart. You can work inward to achieve happiness. You have the power to do that, whether you feel like it or not. That means you don't have to hope for someone outside or something outside to change, to rescue you from negative feelings and negative emotions and depression. You have the power to make that shift, even when it doesn't feel like it. Because no one can make it for you. Your joy is your job. It's good or bad news, depending on how you look at it. Just like all of life, it depends on how you look at it. Perception is everything. Love you guys. Bye, YouTube.